Okay, what happened now was that the chair of the meeting had invited everybody to state their position on the STZ and whether they should have a discussion around the new proposals. Plainly, everybody had been told to prepare a statement, except for Heather Williams. So, this is what happened.
You were the last of the round the table tour. What we have heard is that a majority of the elected council representatives,
Heather wants to be heard. She's had her hand up for a long time.
Pursued in detail today, as was originally envisaged, and so I think that that's been conceded by the non-elected people as well, that there needs to be the provision of a political consensus before this is a workable thing to pursue. So I'm going to suggest that we don't proceed with that scrutiny.
No scrutiny, no debate.
And I have one further suggestion to make.
What are they going to tell the executive
board? Would you like to hear from you,
board?
Heather, again, if you want to say something?
Yes, Chair. I'd like to move and propose that we do debate and scrutinise. As I said, no decision has been made by the board yet, so we wouldn't be scrutinising a board paper.
Exactly right. Well said, Heather.
Debate and scrutinise, potentially after a short adjournment for emotions to settle.
I don't think there's a need for your suggestion, because I was going to ask for the Assembly's support for the contrary. So you'll be able to vote accordingly, I think. Neil?
Yes. I was going to second that suggestion, or we could take a vote amongst the members as to whether we can have some form of debate here today.
Even Neil Shaler agrees. Amazing. Well said, Neil.
You can't see the light from the side. Okay, well, I'd first like to, well, I will go ahead because I think what I'm proposing meets your need to discuss that. So I'm proposing that we move on, that we report to the board the situation that we've heard around the table, and that collectively we believe that we need a reset of the political consensus via the board before it's worth.
So they're going to go back and try and get the political parties to agree to it. That is crazy.
So, could I ask if members of the
What a
Assembly
biased chairman.
agree with that, please? Could you just show by hand that, please, at this point?
Sorry, I must have misunderstood that. The first round, you're asking if we could, if we were still prepared to engage. And I noticed that quite a few members actually gave detailed responses. I wonder, there are other of us who didn't give that kind of information.
Including Heather.
Opportunity for us to do that now. I have a very small statement, actually.
Well, I've tried to keep this really fair by everyone having that chance, and I can see that the thing can spiral round and round when the real situation is staring us in the face. It's not a situation that I personally wanted, but
No, it's not, because you don't like the answers.
I have to bow to the reality that we've heard, and I do think that as we have other items on the agenda, it would be logical to get on and do a good job on those.
The role of a chairman is to be
I would like
even-handed.
to ask the Assembly whether they would agree that we should move on.
Don't have a debate.
And proceed
Run
with the
away from it.
Of a proposal that doesn't have political consensus. Could I ask to see who would agree with that, please? That we will move on without scrutinising this recommendation. So could I see those who would agree with that, please? We don't normally vote, but could you raise your hands, because this is a procedural matter. So, yes.
Clarify what you mean by move on. I think it would be helpful if you were moving on and asking officers to do something, then that would be helpful. If it was, we also have the opportunity to email officers with our concerns, and that would also answer Neil's query, that he would have the opportunity to raise issues with officers, not for us to scrutinise options today, but at least officers would then be aware of what our questions were.
Yes, I mean move on without scrutiny of the proposal on the table.
Don't talk
If
about
there
something
are
because I
some
don't
comments
like
that
the
people
answers I'm going to
believe
get.
the board need to hear, then we can still talk about those. But I think we need to be clearly knowing what we're doing at all points in time. And so I'm trying to understand whether
We need to know what we're
people
doing
agree
at
that we
times. That's
moved
bloody right you do.
off an attempt to scrutinise something at the moment. Is there agreement on that, please? I see pretty general support. For
Pretty
that.
general support.
Okay, with that done, yes, indeed, there is the question about whether we have messages for the board, apart from describing what we have established here.
You haven't established anything
Suggesting
because you haven't scrutinised it, you silly idiot.
one person that this is not a final decision that we have made. We don't have that power anyway.
What decision have you
The
made?
board has to take a final decision.
What a load of bollocks.
And my concern is that they take it in a reflective way. And I would like to suggest that we ask
Anyone
officers,
agree with me?
together with the officers of the three partner councils and the combined authority, to prepare a strategic assessment on the threats and opportunities of starting over again on congestion reduction and public transport improvement strategy, taking account of the variety of factors.
Not suggesting that. We are suggesting there's different ways of bloody funding it, you stupid idiot.
Bus reform, the local plan, and there may be others too, and that they consider that report before a final decision is made on the future of making connections. And I wondered if there would be support for that as a request to the officers and to
The
the board.
public are going to think you're idiots.
Yeah, I'd like some feedback, please.
Oh, well, I'll give you some.
Simon Smith.
Chair, can we just be clear that what we're doing now is formulating recommendations from the Joint Assembly to the board? That we're clear about that.
We're formulating recommendations without discussing them. What a plonker.
You're the chair. But I think it's important that we do ask the question in the light of what's been said here today by members of the Assembly, that the GCP board establish whether there is a political consensus to progress the preferred option, as described in section 5, to achieve scheme objectives.
There is not.
Consultation and feedback. Because it's been said a week's long time in politics, and we never know.
Yeah, you'll find that out when the ballot box comes round.
Statement, which was seemed to be extremely constructive and positive, we might have a change of heart.
We might have a change of heart.
And I think this is the other
Bloody brilliant.
recommendation that I think there is already a consensus around, which is that the GCP receives advice on the implications and risks of not proceeding with revised scenario, which is in line with your proposition. In the light of that understanding and deep understanding of those implications, we may have a change of heart. I don't think we should just bin it straight on.
We don't want to bin it because I don't like it being binned. Oh no. Simon Smith and his amazing dancing bear.
On that.
If you're in Castle Ward, I think it's Castle Ward is in,
Forward recommendation, which
I can
means
recommend
that
who to vote
we
for
don't
next time.
have this problem again.
David
where
Summerfield.
The enormous amount of work that the professional team have put together is scuppered at the last moment. It's cost the public purse a lot of money to get to this point.
It
And I
has.
too want to pay tribute to the professionalism of the team on the outstanding.
Oh, I can't listen to them doing that. Everybody, all of the Lib Dems have been saying how wonderful the officers are.
To get us to this point.